Well, I'd like to welcome you and thank you for joining us at the opening general session and award ceremony of the 2013 Joint APS-MSA meeting. We're fortunate to be here in beautiful Austin, Texas. With our opening music this morning and throughout the meeting, you'll see glimpses of why so many people flock to Austin every year. We're so happy to host our annual meeting with the Mycological Society of America. The value of the exchanges we will have over the next several days will enhance not only our knowledge base and increase our network of colleagues, but different perspectives and approaches will also help us to view our work differently and perhaps approach challenges differently. Please be sure to meet as many MSA members, and for MSA members, as many APS members as you can possibly meet throughout our meeting. We all have so much to learn from each other. For the first time in our history, we are broadcasting this session live across the globe. From Mumbai to Shanghai, from Rio to Tokyo, from Nome to Rome. To those online around the globe, we welcome you and thanks for joining us. Today's technology eliminates the space between those of us here in Austin and those around the globe. It closes the distance gap. In the next few days, we'll see that there are many types of gaps, as we scientists have a vital role in closing them. It's not by accident that I'm talking about gaps. The theme for this year's meeting is Mind the Gap. As many of you know, Mind the Gap is a warning to the London Underground train passengers to be careful crossing the gap between the train door and the station platform. Sophie and I put that in for you. But that phrase is also a warning to us as scientists. We know that the path to answering questions is a winding one filled with many gaps. The purpose of our journey is not only to answer scientific questions, but also to help close society's gaps and improve people's lives. What are the gaps the world is grappling with in the 21st century, you ask? From food availability and security to climate change and health and wellness to sustainable energy, from poverty to social justice, the gaps are many and wide. As plant pathologists, as mycologists, as biologists, we have a professional responsibility to help develop solutions to the challenges like these. However, we're not likely to solve these problems as individuals or even as institutions, foundations, or societies. To mind the gap, it will take a village, as they say, to leverage assets, knowledge, infrastructure, and diversity of perspective. Simply put, we have to talk with each other. And that's really the purpose of this meeting and the reason for including our colleagues around the world. Over the next 5 days, a number of our program sessions will touch on gaps and how we might go about closing them. At this time, however, APS officers want to bring you up to date on the news and activities of the Society. Please join me in welcoming APS President-elect and the 2013 Annual Meeting Program Chair, George Abawi, who will share highlights with this year's meeting. George?
Thank you, Mike. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Austin and our special APS-MSA joint meeting. I would like to start first to give thanks to the member of the annual meeting board led by Scott Atkins for their hard work and contribution throughout the past year in planning the meeting program content. I would also like to thank members of the staff team led by Betty Ford for their hard work and awesome attention to really detailed arrangement that needed for this meeting. Now, with the following individual, please stand as I read your name. Program Vice Chair, Rick Bennett. AMB Director, Scott Atkins. We are going to give them a big applause at the end, too. Annual meeting board members, Jana Beckerman, James Buck, Amy Cherkowski, Paul Esker, Aaron Hurt, Peter Ogiambo, and for the great staff team, Betty Ford. Where are you, Betty? Scott, please keep standing. I would like to take another moment to give a special thanks to Scott Atkins, who has been truly generous with his time and knowledge for the past 12 years. Serving on the annual meeting board, 6 years as a member, and then the last 6 years as a director of the board. Scott, we really thank you for all your contribution to APS. The APS program meeting and the society would not have been the same without your insights, involvement, and leadership. Thanks, Scott. This year, we are truly thrilled to partner with the Mycological Society of America to have a joint meeting and give us the opportunity to truly share science better, and also the opportunity to really network among colleagues of both society. So over the course of the meeting, I encourage you to introduce yourself to at least 5 people you haven't met or you don't know well, and have a good discussion and fun. This year is our year of technology, as Mike already announced. We are live streaming now on the APS net, and not only for this session, for the plenary session tomorrow, and new this year, our second plenary on Tuesday. So for those of you watching us live at this time, we look forward to your continued connection with us for the rest of the week. The meeting, for those of you here today, don't forget that the mobile app has been improved and really offer the meeting at your fingertip. You can access the meeting information and maps. You can view the schedule. You can make appointment and emails to your colleagues, and create your own schedule for the meeting and what to see, what to hear. And if you're using an iPad, make sure you connect to your iPad specific version. So I hope everybody get connected. This is truly a great addition to our meeting, and best of all, it's free. For those of you like the annual meeting book program book, this year the version is a bit different. We have used the two books, the best of the 2 books we had in the past. We have put them together, but after some condensation. They are spiral bound for easy handling and especially taking note of the last few pages. So I hope you like this version, and I like to offer special thanks to all the program book advertisers. With the addition of the MSA session, we have another great meeting planned for you this year, for this week. We have a total of 24 special sessions, 48 technical sessions, and more than 700 posters. Again, this year we have reduced the technical oral session to 90 minutes each, rather than traditional 3-hour duration, and thus will allow for more focused oral session topic, which I think we hope that will help you really select the science best fit your need. Okay, the next thing, similar to last year, we will be recording all the 72 oral presentation session with approval of author. New this year, access to these recordings are included in your registration fee. So watch your email as more information about accessing these sessions will be coming soon after you return home. Now, new this year, we have 2 plenary sessions. Monday plenary session, Minding the Gaps, Yielding to More Solution, features experts in their respective field of our science. Speaker Diedre Ortiz, who has over 20 years of experience in the food industry. Simon Tripp, an expert in the biomedical and life sciences industry. And Mike Hoffer, an online education extraordinaire. They will address and provide insight into some of the grand challenges that Mike briefly outlined just a few minutes ago. This session is followed by the John Curling lecture, the MSA lecture, Evolution of Virulence in Fungal Pathogen of Plant. The plenary session 2 takes a little bit different, on a different field, as renowned speaker Joe Robinson tackles the issue of balancing stress at home and work. Be sure, I encourage you to be sure to include both of these plenary sessions as a session you don't want to miss. For the people who are not able to attend the meeting and are watching this session live via computer, please be sure to join us via live streaming for each of these plenary sessions. You can join the conversation by tweeting your questions during each plenary session by using the hashtag #APS13. New this year, we have science videos which we got located in the exhibit hall next to the APS Press. There are a number. There's some title listed here, but I think in total we have 11 titles, which I hope you take your time. You want to view them all, and whenever your time are best suitable for you. And at this time, I really like to thank everyone who really provided their videos for this scientific addition to our meeting program. And finally, no meeting is complete without a final celebration. And this year, final roundup, take advantage of our setting here in Austin, with a really country feel. So I hope you all join us Wednesday night as we sample some Texas cuisine and kick a boot or two to dance to the music of Shakedown. It's a local. I was promised that this is a local band with a country, with a favorite country music and pop rock. So anyway, we have really planned a great meeting for you in Austin here. I mean, I hope throughout this meeting you enjoy take in all the science presented in our session and the posters. Talk to old friends and colleagues, make new friends, and best of all, have a great time. So at this time, I would like to thank our sponsors for the American Peat Technology, EnviroLogics, GDM, and Percival. So please give them big thanks. And also we want to thank all of our individual session sponsors who are highlighted in the program book you have. Again, and thank them all for their commitment to APS. And again, I just want to thank you all and see you around and have fun. Mike?
Yeah, I don't know how a guy from Columbus and a guy from Syracuse, we need to go boot shopping, I think, if we're going to kick some boots. Thanks, George. Now I'd like to quickly review some of the highlights of this past year. Carol's theme for her presidency, Communicating Science, was instrumental in helping APS leadership think about how the society would help the plant pathology community forward. The APS strategic plan outlines 5 goals: to promote the highest level of scientific standards, be a strong, proactive, and unified professional organization, and be the globally recognized resource for plant identification, plant health information and knowledge dissemination. 4, find increased opportunities for professional growth and development. And 5, prioritize and act upon issues that are most relevant to the future of plant pathology. Over the last year, Council and an array of boards, offices, fora, and committees have contributed and collaborated to implement this strategic plan. And I'll say more about that in a moment. We worked hard this year to close the gap between those of us in industry and the academy. Building on a conversation started by Carol, Council was joined by several industry colleagues at our October meeting at Ohio State. Together, we had a focused conversation on education and partnerships with industry. At our February meeting at Research Triangle Park in Raleigh, Council met at Syngenta Biotech Incorporated headquarters. We met with their president and were joined by several other colleagues, not only from Syngenta, but also Bayer Crop Science and DuPont Pioneer Hybrid International. These colleagues provided invaluable perspectives on how to communicate, recruit, and retain in the private sector. We also discussed opportunities for sharing data and enhancing linkages. In fact, the Office of Industry Relations is working on a course entitled Careers in Industry. The idea is to build awareness of the variety of opportunities which students and early career professionals can consider. I'm happy to report this year that we welcome Eric Tedford from Syngenta as our incoming counselor at large. Eric will represent the industry perspective on APS Council. Eric, we look forward to the many contributions you'll make in this new role. One of my highest priorities as president has been for the APS to better understand how to communicate and teach our science. We've learned that students are attracted to the discipline when they have the benefit of a fascinating introductory course and work experience or practical experience. This means that we have to create learning experiences that resonate with today's students. Many of them are sitting here today. To understand what that means, we met with Mike Hoffer, who oversees all forms of distance education and e-learning at Ohio State. Mike also has extensive experience working with educational technology and learning management platforms. We talked with Mike about online learning strategies, which he'll discuss and share with us at tomorrow's plenary session. We also interacted with Jim Moyer and the Department of Plant Pathology at North Carolina State University. Can we hear it for North Carolina State University? A little bit? There we go. You don't hear that from a Buckeye very often. It was a great opportunity to hear new ideas directly from our members. Sitting atop all of the educational efforts will be our new Office of Education strategic plan that is in the final stages of development. We know that enrollment is up in plant pathology graduate programs about 20% since 2009. Let me repeat that. Graduate student enrollment is up about 20% since 2009. To continue this trend, APS is developing a formal structure to unite department heads and leaders from across the country. This will bring key individuals and standalone departments of plant pathology and multidisciplinary units together so they can share resources, perspectives, best practices, and expertise. In the coming months, you'll hear more about this effort. Earlier, I promised to say more about our organization's strategic goals. One of those goals is to be the globally recognized resource for plant health information and knowledge dissemination. Another goal is to prioritize and act on issues most relevant to the future of plant pathology. To achieve these objectives, we must fully understand the current state of the science and the gaps that exist. Only then can we develop strategies to address those gaps. To start this process, in May, I convened 15 leading scientists together. Together, we engaged in a fascinating exercise. We studied the frequency of words in publications and meeting abstracts published by APS. The words that appeared most frequently indicated what our colleagues are studying and writing about. In other words, our exercise revealed the current state of the science and where the discipline is heading. With this information, we began identifying and categorizing the gaps. We also considered the scientific questions that need to be addressed to hasten progress of the science of plant pathology. We were able to determine 5 critical targets for plant health with nearly 60 questions where further research is most likely needed. Council is now in the process of seeking your input. The goal will be to develop a comprehensive report along with other input from previous reports into an overall action plan. This plan will contain strategies for moving our science forward while at the same time helping solve some of the world's most pressing issues. Following on last year's successful video venture, the Office of Public Relations and Outreach, or OPRO, has created a series of videos to ignite further interest in plant pathology among students of all ages. The new videos are 10 to 15 seconds long and depict everyday experiences. They highlight the importance of plant pathologists in a fun and offbeat manner. I haven't seen them yet, so I'm looking forward to that. The videos will be uploaded to various social media outlets and can be used by members in classroom settings. Stop by the OPRO booth in the exhibit hall for viewing of this great video series. Thanks, OPRO. With the leadership of our Public Policy Board, we have continued to advocate for our discipline at the highest levels of the U.S. government. I'm happy to report this year that the President's budget request called for a net overall increase in funding for agricultural research writ large. Included in this request is a significant increase in competitively awarded funding, which was not or is not taken out of the ARS budget. In February, USDA Secretary Vilsack reiterated his support for increased agricultural research funding. He said, and I'm quoting, "We know that investing in agricultural research helps the economy and strengthens agriculture. Every dollar invested in research generates $20 in economic benefits for our nation, while giving our farmers and ranchers new tools to mitigate risk and increase production. We can continue this progress into the next generation of American agriculture by making smart investments today." With Secretary Vilsack's words utmost in our minds, in March, 15 members of the Public Policy Board and APS staff went to Washington to urge that funding be maintained for key research, education, and extension programs. We also recommended that these programs receive a net increase in the coming years. In D.C., we met with members of Congress, including Senators Bozeman and Pryor, as well as Kathy Watecki, USDA Undersecretary for Research, Education, and Economics and Chief Scientist. We also met with Krista Harden, then Chief of Staff for the USDA, as well as officials from the President Obama's Office of Science and Technology Policy and the Office of Management and Budget. In our conversations, we urged that the government reinstate subsidies for USDA scientists to travel to professional meetings. Today, we carried that message pretty loud and clear, like using words, their absence is conspicuous. Today I'm delighted to welcome some 140 government colleagues to this meeting. I'm thankful for the leadership, and I'm thankful that you're here to join us. Today, to emphasize the board's message, PPB distributed several white papers highlighting APS's priorities, including funding for agricultural research, support for a national plant microbial germplasm system to protect microbial collections for the future, support for extension and outreach, partnerships for research and communication among plant pathologists and food scientists to ensure a safe food supply. You can view these white papers on the APS.net site. I also urge you to stop by the PPB booth and visit with Jan and Team PPB. Finally, I would be remiss if I didn't mention a significant change in leadership at APS headquarters. Sorry, Steve. After 40 years of serving in various capacities, Steve Nelson retired as our Executive Vice President on April 1st of this year. Steve, if you would just rise so we could give you a quick round of applause. Good job. We had a great party in April, and it was wonderful to recognize Steve's events. While Steve leaves big shoes to fill, I can see him, we are quite confident that our new Executive Vice President, Amy Hope, will lead the organization to even greater heights. Amy, would you please rise so we can recognize you? There she is in the back. She's already risen. Amy has worked side by side with Steve for a long time, over 20 years, but for the last 12 years has taken the helm, and for the last 12 years has been his second in command. She has taken the helm without missing a beat, I can tell you that. Please join me. We already did this, so we won't say that. Okay. Sometimes you get caught up. It's kind of hard reading down like this. It's clear that APS has had a great year. As we go forward, there are many opportunities for all of us to participate in. That might mean publishing in our journals, PMN or APS Press, joining a committee, or mentoring a student or a new member. You might also consider volunteering at society events, providing content for our social media outlets, or just sharing your perspectives and ideas. In the coming weeks, you'll receive information about how to engage with APS. This year, for the first time, Council will have a booth in the exhibit hall. I encourage you to stop by and share your perspectives about the organization and ways to improve. For those participating online, you can email us at apscouncil@scisoc.org. We really do truly value your input. APS is known for initiatives that help ensure the strength and vitality of our discipline. Those initiatives flow from ideas that members bring forward. To make it easier for us to share our ideas, Council launched a new centralized process. If you have an idea for a product or service that you think APS ought to consider developing, please take a few minutes to go online, log in, and complete the idea concept form. All of the submissions are reviewed by Council on a regular basis, and I encourage you, no idea too small, too large, please share your ideas. I'm very proud of this year's major investments in technology that move our science forward. I might add that these investments were based on your input. For the first time, APS has an iPhone app for use in the mobile identification of turfgrass diseases. I had nothing to do with that. Visit the APS bookstore to see a demo of this new app, which will be available for download later this fall. It's just the first mobile app that we'll have. In addition, APS journals were recently upgraded with new mobile-friendly features, giving you easy access while you're on the go. Plant Health Progress is upgrading its features and will be side by side with all other APS journals online. And now, to hear how we support all these undertakings, our treasurer, Steve Slack, will provide the APS financial report. Steve?
Thank you very much, Mike. Well, the fiscal year 2013 was a financially sound year for APS, and one in which we met or exceeded the majority of our financial priorities. For the year ending June 30th, 2013, APS had an unaudited net income of $269,385. Total revenue for the year was $4,885,282, and total expenses were $4,615,897. On this chart, please note that the last column reflects the distribution of overhead across all income categories. APS has reinvested surplus dollars into innovation projects to help drive the financial health of APS for the future. Currently, that's in the amount of about $165,000. You've heard George and Mike both explain that we're streaming this particular session as well as other sessions in the program. But we also have the Turfgrass mobile app, an online imaging collection effort, as well as membership videos. As I mentioned, revenue for APS was almost $4.9 million. The breakdown for this revenue falls into the following category: journals, and you can see phytopathology, plant disease, and MPMI, which equal 49% of the Society's revenue. APS Press adds another 18%, and 15% of the revenue derived comes from last year's annual meeting. Plant Disease Management Network brought in 9% of the revenue, and member dues comprise about 6% of the total revenue. Our journals and publications continue to serve as the bread and butter for the Society. They equal 76% of our revenue. That's quite a testament to our publications, to the efforts of our publication board, as well as to those that publish in our journals. It also indicates how dependent we are as a society on the publication revenue stream. With respect to the $4.6 million in expenses this year, the breakdown of costs incurred are as follows. 17% came from member services, including the Office of Public Relations and Outreach and the Public Policy Board, and you heard comments from Mike on their activities earlier. 13% were from last year's annual meeting. Journals comprised 24% of costs. APS Press, 15% of total revenues, and 25% were in general and administrative expenses. This category includes building, equipment, technology, phones, bank fees, and insurance costs. APS Press and the journals account for 45% of the year's expenses. Over time, APS has been profitable from its operations. The red line on the graph reports investment and pension fund activity and reflects the economic gyrations of recent years. The APS Financial Dashboard is a great tool that allows the Financial Advisory Committee and Council to quickly monitor and assess progress throughout the year to spot extremely good or bad trends. We adopted this approach this past year as a shorthand reference to the in-depth report that we all have access to, which is some 20-odd pages of income and expense ledgers that FAC also monitors on a continuing basis. But spotting the trends quickly helps APS leadership adjust its financial strategies as needed. The dashboard also informs Financial Advisory Committee perspective as it works through the process of building out the upcoming year's budget with staff for council consideration in April and May of each year. This concludes my financial report, and at this time I'd like to welcome Dave Gaduri to the stage to report on APS membership efforts. Dave?
Thank you, Steve. Well, I'd like to also extend my welcome to the more than 1,500 APS members and their guests in attendance at our 105th annual meeting. We've been doing this for 105 years. This particular meeting is one of the largest that APS has hosted in the last 10 years, with attendance that's approaching the level reached at our centennial meeting in 2008. Last year, we met in the relatively compact and concise state of Rhode Island, which some of you know I'm a native son. This year, we're meeting in the great state of Texas, and of course, any state would be hard-pressed to match their wonderful hospitality. But as I was preparing this membership report, I did discover an alarming trend in the declining number of plant pathologists per square mile compared to last. Why are you laughing? This is not funny. This is an alarming trend. We still don't fully understand what's going on here. We're hopeful we can reverse the trend when we meet in Minneapolis next year. So enough of that for now. The present membership of APS worldwide stands at 4,670. About a third of the membership is here today, with nearly 3,000 regular professional members. We have a growing student and emeritus membership, and a slightly smaller number of our members are postdocs. All of that is reflective of the age demographics of the profession and the employment opportunities in the profession. There have been a lot of retirements lately, and there are more coming, and there are graduates waiting to step into those recently opened positions. A number of those recently opened positions are advertised at the meeting. That's good news for those of you who have graduated recently or are close to graduation. And if you hope to start a career, or if you're looking for job candidates, this meeting is the place you need to be. Our society is based in the United States, but we're truly international in our membership, with over a third of our membership distributed across 100 countries worldwide. Regional representation shows the strongest presence in Asia and in Europe, and that trend is consistent through several years. If we were to show the 5 countries with the largest number of APS members, they would be China, Canada, Japan, Brazil, and Australia. So, in summary, our membership is stable. It reflects both demographic and economic trends in the U.S. and also worldwide. Our membership is professionally diverse and is distributed across several categories of membership, and that reflects a diversity of stages in the careers of our members. We're predominantly a U.S.-based society, but with a substantial and stable international component. So finally, I want to encourage all of you, individually, to reach out to your colleagues who are not yet members of APS. I don't need to preach to the choir and tell you about the benefits of membership. What I need is for you to do that to the people who are not members, but who should be. Encourage them to join us. This organization is the single most effective advocate we have for the future of this profession. And membership dues are, professionally speaking, nothing. There may be over 1,500 of you in attendance right at this very moment. I think every one of you, after you go home from this meeting, could find one person that could join us. You do that, and on that particular day, you won't have to go home from work wondering if you've done any real and permanent good. I'm here today because someone did that for me. You're here today because someone did that for you. So pay it forward. On a sadder note, since we last met as a society, we've lost a number of our friends and colleagues. Some departed after very long lives. Others left us all too soon. Please join me in a moment of silence as we reflect on the lives, the memories, and the contributions of colleagues that we've lost in the past year. Thank you. I'm now pleased to welcome Georgia Bowie back to the stage for an invitation to our 2014 annual meeting.
It's truly my honor to invite you to mark your calendar today to attend the 2014 APS-CPS joint meeting in Minneapolis, Minnesota, August 9th to the 13th, 2014. Minnesota is home to our headquarters, all of you know, and it really is really thrilled to get back there. And I think whatever you hear about the weather, it's going to be better next year. Submission are now being accepted for special sessions, field trips, and workshops for the 2014 meeting. Online submission will be closed after Tuesday, August 7th, and reopen August 9th until August 29th. We encourage all interested in submitting to do so by Tuesday, so their submission can be presented during the 2014 APS planning meeting on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday from 9:30 to 11:30 in room 557. For a helpful how-to of the submission, we have put together a voice-over PowerPoint, which is available along with a link to the submission form on APS.net. So I would like to welcome Mike back on the stage for a very exciting coming up 2018 meeting.
The 10th International Congress of Plant Pathology will be held later this month in Beijing. The theme for this year's Congress is Biosecurity, Food Safety, and Plant Pathology, the role of plant pathology in a globalized economy. Many of the gaps I mentioned earlier are sure to be discussed in Beijing, and I and other members of the APS leadership team will be in attendance. And we hope to see many of you there. I'm also extremely pleased to announce that the 2018 International Congress will be held in Boston from July 29th to August 3rd. APS will play a pivotal role in organizing this meeting. A website has been established and will be regularly updated as planning begins. Stay tuned for details. And now, I would like to recognize the APS Council that served with me this past year. If members would rise when I read your names, and if the audience would hold their applause until I'm finished, that would be great. George Bowie. Stan, thanks, George. Rick Bennett. Carol Ishimaru. John Sherwood. David Godori. Steve Slack. Walt Mahaffey. Jeff Jones. Mary Palm. Tony Kyneth. David Schmalley, and Steve Nelson. It's my honor and privilege to serve with you. Please join me in recognizing these individuals for their work. It's an awesome team. And now let's welcome the incoming council. Incoming council members, please stand when I read your names. Lauren Statinoff, Divisional Forum Counselor. Nick Grunwald, Publications Counselor. Sally Miller, Incoming Vice President. And Eric Tedford, Junior Counselor at Large. And of course, we welcome Amy Hope as our incoming Executive Vice President. Thanks for your commitment. Well, that was council, but council doesn't do the work and the heavy lifting by ourselves. And so now, if we could recognize, let me see here. Now, if we could recognize our council and member leaders who are completing their terms, please stand as I call your name. Scott Atkins, the annual meeting board director. Barbara Christ, who is not with us, but she's rotating off the International Societies Relations Committee and also the Nominations Committee, where she serves as chair. Scott Gold, chair of the Office of Education. Steve Goodwin, Awards and Honors Committee. Carol Ishimaru, our immediate past president. Tony Kyneth, our Publications Counselor and Publications Board Chair. Walt Mahaffey, the Senior Counselor at Large. Sally Miller, Director, Office of International Programs. Brian Olson, Director, Office of Industry Relations. David Schmalley, our Divisional Counselor. Bill Schneider, Leadership Institute Chair. John Sherwood, APS Past President, and Ned Tisserat, Editor-in-Chief of Plant Health Progress. Thank you so much, everyone. This was an excellent year for APS, and it simply wouldn't have been possible without you, my fellow APS members, and our awesome staff colleagues. Thanks for all that you do for our organization. As I mention each category, please stand and remain standing. I would like our staff to stand, please. These are the folks we've seen in the green shirts. Thank you. I see you edited my order. I'd like the editors-in-chief, please, to stand and remain standing. I'd like our editors to stand. All of the reviewers, if you served as a reviewer, please stand. And a lot of us. I'd like our committee chairs, board office, and forum leaders to stand. I'd like our committee, board, office, and forum members to stand. I'd like council to stand. And then I'd like anyone who volunteered this year to join the group that's standing. I think, folks, just take a look around, both those of you seated and those of you standing. APS truly is a member-driven professional society, and we simply wouldn't be the society we are without this level of participation. So thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. Miss Carol, you should be making your way, that's what it says, to the stage, please. I would like you to please join me in welcoming our immediate past president, Carol Ishimaro, to the stage. It's with, yeah. Carol, it's with great pleasure and a privilege that I present the APS President's Scroll to you today. This scroll is a testament to your incredible dedication to APS, and I want to personally congratulate you on the completion of your 4-year presidential term.
Thank you so much. I want to personally, publicly acknowledge the incredible support of so many people this last year and through my presidency. I want to especially acknowledge John Sherwood, who stepped in last year and covered many of the duties of the immediate past president. John, thank you so much.
We also have a little anticlimactic, but an immediate past president pen that I will bestow on Carol. Where's Dan? This isn't a real pinning ceremony, right? We're friends. Have a seat. There you go. And now it's time for the awards and recognition portion of our program. In my mind, the main event. Brochures were distributed at the doors. Our awardees are seated here, and we're ready to go. I'm pleased now to officially commence the 2013 Awards and Honors Ceremony this morning. This is such an honor to recognize the incredible service, scientific excellence, and dedication of our members at the start of our meeting. The first portion of this ceremony is focused on recognizing the early career professionals in APS who have received awards this year. We begin by acknowledging the early career awardees selected through a competitive application process for each of the areas and made possible by funding through the APS Foundation. The following 2 awardees could not be present with us here today. I hope they're watching via our live stream. The Browning Plant Medicine and Health Travel Award recipient is Chris Borman, University of Nebraska. And this year's French Monard Latin American Award provided support for Maria Ibarren from the National University of La Plata to attend the 2013 Latin American Phytopathological Congress. I ask that the subsequent early career awardees stand as your name is read. The Frank L. Howard Undergraduate Fellowship, established to encourage the involvement of undergraduate students in plant pathology research and encourage students to pursue advanced degrees and careers in plant pathology, was awarded this year to Zachary Knoll, the University of Vermont. The International Travel Award is intended to support scientists native to and working in developing countries who otherwise would not be able to attend APS meetings. This year's recipient is Maria Ordóñez, the Catholic University of Ecuador. The 13th I.E. Melhuse Graduate Student Symposium awardees were selected for their graduate thesis work related to minimizing plant disease risk. Please hold your applause until all 5 awardees are standing. Sarah Bardsley, the Pennsylvania State University. Allison Ferry Abbey. Kate Fiedler, Virginia Tech. Allison's from the University of California at Davis. Amy Furfer, this Pennsylvania State University. Jorge David Salgado, the Ohio State University. Congratulations. You may be seated. Next, the Schroth Faces of the Future Early Career Professionals Symposium awardees. This year's symposium is designed to acknowledge the up-and-comers, quote-unquote, in mycology, providing the opportunity for these awards to highlight their current work and speculate on the future directions of the discipline. Please hold your applause until all 4 awardees are standing. Jamie Blair, Franklin and Marshall College. Erica Goss, University of Florida. Jason Slott, The Ohio State University. Maren Talbot Brewer, University of Georgia. Congratulations. The Raymond J. Tarleton Student Fellowship Award supports graduate students in plant pathology research and encourages them to further their careers in plant pathology. This year's recipient is Imana Power, University of Georgia. Imana, would you please stand? Congratulations. Additionally, we want to recognize the APS Public Policy Early Career Intern Awardee. This internship provides opportunity for the selected individual to gain hands-on experience in public policy at the national level that relates generally to agricultural science and specifically to matters of interest to APS. Tim Durham, Florida Gulf Coast University, has been serving in this role for the past year. Tim, you here? The APS Foundation is pleased to provide APS Named Student Travel Awards to the following 35 individuals this year. That's wonderful. Please stand as I call your name and remain standing. Please hold your applause until all names have been read, and I apologize sincerely up front if I missed your name. Lisa Barron, Kirsten Bukowski, Lindsay Burbank, Kathleen Burkhart, Robin Chaudhry. Is that right, Robin? Chaudhry. We practiced that. Angela Dale, Beth Dulsing, Jonathan Jacobs, Paul Ketchapulia, Yuki Kawasaki, Alma Laney, Jillian Lang, Kimberly Lesniak, Tiffany Lowe, Tyler McCann, Lucky Mara, Rachel Nagley, Nashita Obelreddy. Did I get it, Nashita? Perfect. Corey Outwater, Sudasana Puhari, Jeanette Rapikovli. Is that right? Rapikovli. Not Rapikovli, Rapikovli. Renee Rio, Catalana Saldego Salazar, Zachary Sexton, Patrick Shearwood, Ziomi Shi, Ian Small, Matthew Tonkos, Bradley Tonneson, Tun Mentran, Byron Vega, Nan Yi Wang, Jeremy Warren, June Myung Yu, Edgar Zanato. Congratulations to each of you. You may be seated. What a great group. What a great group. Additionally, on the back of your award brochure is the complete listing of all individuals who received awards at their respective division meetings this past year. If any of these awardees are present, I'd ask that you please stand. There we go. There we go. Congratulations. I also want to say that this year, for the first time, there will be a session, a special session, where the award winners, the lead award winners from each of our 6 division meetings will be presenting the results of their work. And I would really encourage everyone to participate in that. Now, we welcome APS Foundation Chair Ray Martin with a special announcement. Ray?
Good morning, and thank you. And it's my pleasure to announce a new initiative from the APS Foundation. But first, for those of you who may not be exactly familiar with the Foundation, it's the philanthropic arm of the Society. All of the Foundation's income is from charitable giving by the members, you. And then the income derived from the investment of those contributions is to support over the 60 different travel awards to students and young professionals that you just heard about to attend and participate in the annual meeting or some other scholarly activity. I'm pleased to say that the Foundation endowment is currently approximately $2 million. This year, the Foundation awarded $31,500 to 52 individuals who you just heard announced and recognized to participate in these meetings. And I also would personally like to congratulate each of you. Now, a primary objective of the Foundation is to promote and assist the Society's students and young professionals in engaging them in activities of the Society. Thus far, Foundation has provided over $450,000 in support of this objective. And one of the funds within the Foundation that directly supports this is the Early Career Professional Development Fund, which was first initiated in 2009. This fund is directed toward our members who are typically within 5 to 7 years of postgraduate school and provides financial assistance for participation in various activities to help in their professional development. Foundation is announcing a current campaign for this fund to reach $100,000. APS has had a remarkable 105-year history due largely to an outstanding legacy of professionals and leaders. But where did these leaders come from? They came from yesterday's students and young professionals. And tomorrow's leaders are today's young professionals. And perhaps no one in recent history within APS has recognized that more than Steve Nelson, APS's Executive Vice President. Now, most of you know now that Steve is retired this year after over 40 years of service to APS. And in recognition of his outstanding leadership and vision for the Society, the APS Foundation is pleased to announce the renaming of the Early Career Professional Fund to the Stephen C. Nelson Early Career Professional Development Fund. I am also extremely pleased to announce that APS Council has provided a matching grant in the total of $50,000 in contributions. So all contributions up to the $50,000 will be matched by Council. Now, the $100,000 campaign was launched earlier this year with a significant gift from former APS President Randy Rowe and his wife Sandra, and additional gifts by President-elect Georgia Bowie and others. And now, along with Council's match, the balance of this fund is $54,000, over halfway toward our goal of $100,000. And you can help us reach that goal by stopping by the Foundation booth during the meeting and making a contribution. Every bit helps, especially since your contribution now will be matched by the grant from Council. And of course, there are other funds with different objectives that also may interest you. So help make it possible for other APS members to achieve their professional goals, and help Foundation fulfill Steve's dream of developing tomorrow's leaders. Be a part of the APS legacy. So on behalf of the Foundation Board and all APS members worldwide, I thank you for your continued support of the Foundation, and please remember that tomorrow's leaders are today's young professionals. Thank you.
Thank you. It is my pleasure at this time to welcome our immediate past president, Carol Ishimaro, to the podium to officiate the APS Awards and Honors Ceremony.
Well, thank you, Mike. I have the distinct privilege and honor to present our most prestigious awards on behalf of the Society. The APS Award Ceremony provides the perfect opportunity as we begin this annual meeting to recognize the incredible service, excellent science, and dedication of our members. We begin with the Ruth Allen Award, which recognizes individuals who have made an outstanding and innovative contribution to research that has changed or has the potential to change the direction of research in the field of plant pathology.
Young-Hwan Lee is a professor of plant pathology at Seoul National University, where he has been on the faculty since 1995. After obtaining his doctorate in plant pathology at Louisiana State University in 1991, Lee worked as a visiting assistant professor at Clemson University and as a senior research scientist at LG Chemicals. Seong-Chan Kang has worked at Pennsylvania State University since 1997, where he is currently a professor of plant pathology. Kang previously was a visiting scientist at DuPont, followed by postdoctoral appointments at Purdue University and the University of New Mexico. To support research and education in plant pathology, Lee and Kang have collaborated in building an innovative and versatile cyber infrastructure, which includes comparative genomics platforms that archive genome data from all sequenced fungi and oomycetes, databases that archive genotypic and phenotypic characteristics of major pathogen genera to support pathogen identification, and informatics tools to support data analysis and visualization. These online data and informatics resources have helped transform fragmented community research efforts into a globally networked endeavor by providing effective means for data preservation, sharing, integration, and utilization. Considering the increasing importance of team approaches and data integration in solving complex problems, the work by Kang and Lee represents an exemplary model.
The American Phytopathological Society is pleased to acknowledge Young-Hwan Lee and Seo-Jin Kang as the 2013 Ruth Allen awardees. Next, receiving the Lee M. Hutchinson Award is an old colleague of mine, George Sundin. This is an award to the author or authors of published research on basic or applied aspects of diseases of perennial fruit plants, including tree fruits, tree nuts, small fruits, and grapes, including tropical fruits, but excluding vegetables.
George W. Sundin joined the Department of Plant Pathology at Michigan State University in 2002, where he is currently professor and extension specialist with responsibilities in tree fruit disease management. Sundin is recognized specifically for his applied and basic research on fire blight disease and the Erwinia amylovora pathogen. He is part of a team that recently identified the first gene-for-gene interaction between Malus species and Erwinia amylovora. He provided critical research results necessary for the Michigan Department of Agriculture to obtain a Section 18 specific exemption from the EPA for apple growers in Michigan to use the new agricultural antibiotic kasugamycin, and has begun extensive genome-scale studies to understand the regulation of pathogenesis, in Erwinia amylovora by small, non-coding RNAs and the second messenger compound, cyclic di-GMP. Sundin is committed to graduate education and has served as a mentor for 8 MS and 9 PhD graduate students and 10 postdoctoral research associates during his career. Sundin was an associate editor from 2004 to 2006 and a senior editor from 2009 to 2011 for Phytopathology, and is currently editor-in-chief for the 2012 to 2014 term and a member of the APS Publications Board. He has served the North Central Division as counselor and divisional forum representative from 2009 to 2012 and was the inaugural chair of the APS Divisional Forum from 2010 to 2011.
The American Phytopathological Society is pleased to present George Sundin with the Lee M. Hutchinson Award. Next, the Noel T. Keene Award for Research Excellence in Molecular Plant Pathology is presented to Sofian Kamoun. This award recognizes APS members who have made outstanding contributions and demonstrated sustained excellence and leadership in research that significantly advances the understanding of molecular aspects of host pathogen interactions, plant pathogens, or plant-associated microbes, or the molecular biology of disease development or defense mechanisms.
Sofian Kamoun was born in Tunis, Tunisia. He has held positions at Wageningen University, the Ohio State University, and the Sainsbury Laboratory in Norwich, United Kingdom, where he is currently senior scientist and head. He also holds a professor of biology chair at the University of East Anglia in Norwich, United Kingdom. Kamoun made unique and groundbreaking contributions to the science of plant pathology. He discovered the first family of disease effector proteins from oomycetes, the group of plant pathogens that includes the late blight pathogen that caused the Irish potato famine. He made crucial discoveries about oomycete pathogenicity by identifying additional classes of effectors, developing an understanding of how effectors modulate plant immunity, and establishing how antagonistic coevolution with host plants impacts pathogen genomes. His pioneering work on oomycete effector biology and pathogenomics has resulted in new approaches to breeding disease-resistant crops.
The American Phytopathological Society is pleased to present Sofian Kamoun with the Noel T. Keene Award for Research Excellence in Molecular Plant Pathology. For this next award, Syngenta's Eric Tedford will be presenting Lindsay Dutoit with the APS Syngenta Award. This award is given by Syngenta to an APS member for an outstanding contribution to teaching, research, or extension in plant pathology.
Lindsay J. Dutoit served as a plant diagnostician for the Plant and Insect Diagnostic Lab at the Washington State University Puyallup Research and Extension Center from 1998 to 2000. In 2000, she was hired as an assistant professor and extension specialist with the Washington State University Department of Plant Pathology and was promoted to associate professor and extension specialist in 2006 and to professor and extension specialist in 2013. Dutoit's research program at the WSU Mount Vernon Northwestern Washington Research and Extension Center has focused on the biology, epidemiology, and management of a wide range of bacterial, fungal, and viral diseases that affect vegetable seed crops in the Pacific Northwest. Her research program is nationally and internationally recognized, and she is a world leader in the field of seed pathology. She is known for developing practical solutions for disease problems, developing new and innovative approaches for detecting seed-borne pathogens, and working cooperatively with industry partners to address problems relevant to stakeholders. Dutoit's research achievements are documented in 47 peer-reviewed publications, 7 book chapters, and numerous non-refereed and popular articles. In addition, Dutoit is active in service to professional societies and organizations, and in teaching and mentoring graduate and undergraduate students.
The American Phytopathological Society is pleased to present Lindsay Dutoit with the Syngenta Award. Congratulations, Lindsay. The 2013 International Service Award is Jack Comstock. This award recognizes outstanding contributions to plant pathology by APS members for countries other than their own. Contributions may have been through collaborative projects, sabbaticals, short or long-term assignments with educational or government agencies, including but not limited to international centers and research institutes.
Jack C. Comstock is a world-renowned sugarcane pathologist. He joined the experiment station of the Hawaiian Sugar Planters Association in Aiea, Hawaii in 1974, and the USDA ARS sugarcane field station in Canal Point, Florida in 1989, both as a sugarcane pathologist. He is the developer of sugarcane cultivars grown extensively in Central America, contributing significantly to its sugar production. Throughout his career, he has authored numerous sugarcane pathology research manuscripts, extension articles, and book chapters. He has provided training in disease diagnosis and screening to more than 50 international sugarcane scientists and agriculturalists, and assisted identifying sugarcane diseases in more than a dozen countries. Jack Comstock has been an invited speaker, consultant, and mentor in many countries, and has played a major role in the international sugarcane community. He also has been an active lifetime APS member.
Okay. The American Phytopathological Society is pleased to present Jack Comstock with the International Service Award. This is just so humbling being up here among all these people doing such incredible work. Now we're going to turn to Excellence in Extension. We now award the APS Excellence in Extension Award to Stephen Koike. This award recognizes excellence in extension plant pathology.
Stephen Terry Koike has been the Plant Pathology Farm Advisor for the University of California Cooperative Extension in Monterey and Santa Cruz counties since 1989. His research involves dozens of hosts, many etiological factors, and diverse epidemiological settings. Koike's drive to address industry problems motivated him to expand his work into areas beyond plant pathology, such as food safety following the E. coli outbreak on spinach, and thrip species identification following outbreaks of impatiens necrotic spot virus on lettuce. His authorship on 913 publications, including 281 refereed articles, attests to the broad scope of his research and to his success in developing collaborative teams. Koike operates the only county-based plant pathology lab for the University of California and places a high priority on diagnostics, as evidenced by his 121 disease notes. Koike has spoken at more than 400 extension and industry meetings and has written hundreds of extension articles. He is particularly focused on helping the limited resource growers in his region who speak only Spanish and uses his fluency in Spanish to directly communicate and to write Spanish language extension articles. Since 1990, he received 52 invitations to speak at statewide, national, and international conferences. Koike has received the Outstanding Achievement Award from the California Friends of Agricultural Extension and the Oscar Lorenz Award from UC Davis, and is the two-time recipient of the Distinguished Service Award for Research from the University of California Cooperative Extension.
The American Phytopathological Society is pleased to acknowledge Stephen Koike with the Excellence in Extension Award. Okay, we're almost to the seventh inning stretch, right? So, come on. Lots of great things yet to come. Okay. Now I'm privileged to present the Excellence in Regulatory Affairs and Crop Security Award to two people, Lawrence Levy and Mary Palm. This award recognizes outstanding contributions to regulatory plant pathology, crop security, and trade enhancements efforts by the APS members.
The National Regulatory Diagnostics Team, led by Lorene Levy and Mary Palm, has collectively guided USDA APHIS PPQ diagnostics for the last quarter of a century. During this time, vast changes have occurred in safeguarding America's agriculture, moving from reliance on morphological techniques to the complex system of morphological, immunological, and molecular characterization employed today. The team's commitment to developing and implementing a national plant diagnostic system has supported the formation of the National Plant Diagnostic Network and the National Plant Pathogen Laboratory Accreditation Program. Levy and Palm are actively engaged in advancing the science of plant pathology via leadership roles within APS and have published nearly 100 peer-reviewed articles, numerous technical manuals, and multiple books and chapters. Given the team's distinguished service on important issues such as sudden oak death, soybean rust, plumpox virus, and other significant regulatory pathogens, they are recognized as the 2013 recipients of the Excellence in Regulatory Affairs and Crop Security Award.
The American Phytopathological Society is pleased to present Lorene Levy and Mary Palm with the Excellence in Regulatory Affairs and Crop Security Award. Yeah. It's all GP. We turned from extension and international and crop security to teaching, something that's a fundamental aspect of all of our efforts. And this is an especially important award, I think, and I'm privileged to present the Excellence in Teaching Award to Carlos Gonzalez. This award recognizes excellence in teaching plant pathology.
Carlos Gonzalez was born in San Antonio, Texas. Following postdoctoral research at the University of California in Davis and the University of Michigan, he explored novel microbial products for the food industry for 6 years. Since 1986, he has been in the plant pathology and microbiology department at Texas A&M, where he is currently a professor. Gonzalez teaches introductory plant pathology and bacterial plant diseases and has an active research program on Burkholderia species. He is recognized for leadership in advancing educational opportunities for minorities and for engagement of students in experiential learning as a centerpiece of his research program. He has attracted more than 65 undergraduates to his laboratory and is noted for his infectious enthusiasm for scientific discovery and for working closely with students as they develop their research skills. Fulfilling his commitment to diversity and minority recruitment, he has led student recruiting efforts from historically black colleges and universities, Hispanic serving institutions, and Tier 2 institutions into the plant pathology PhD program at Texas A&M. He played a significant role in developing Texas A&M's nationally recognized Bioenvironmental Sciences undergraduate curriculum. He received the Texas A&M Diversity Award in 2011 and the Manners Legend Award in 2013. Carlos Gonzalez's record in teaching both within and outside the classroom demonstrates scholastic excellence and achievement.
The American Phytopathological Society is pleased to present Carlos Gonzalez with the Excellence in Teaching Award. We're switching to another part in the program here. The Society grants the honor of Fellow to current APS members in recognition of distinguished contributions to plant pathology or to the American Phytopathological Society. This year, upon recommendation of the Awards and Honors Committee, which is chaired by Stephen Goodwin, and the approval of Council, we are pleased to introduce a lapel pin for APS Fellows. This pin has been sent to all of our previous fellow recipients, so everybody else has gotten one. And beginning today, we'll start presenting them with the current fellows. So our fellows today will be presented with a pin along with their fellow award. Our first APS fellow recipient today is Caitlin Allen. Amy Charkowski will be accepting on Caitlin's behalf.
Caitlin Allen is an internationally recognized expert on the interactions between the bacterial wilt pathogen Ralstonia solanacearum and its hosts. Her work is characterized by a focus on the biology of the pathogen in its natural environment. Her methods are largely molecular, but her questions are driven by curiosity about pathogen evolution and a desire to address a serious agricultural problem. She has used bacterial mutants and biologically representative plant assays to identify many of the pathogen's defining strategies. Her genomic analyses have created a microbe's eye view of life inside plants and generated testable hypotheses about virulence mechanisms. Allen is highly collaborative, working with diverse colleagues around the world. Her work on Ralstonia solanacearum race 3 biovar 2 has put her at the forefront of research and policy development with the select agent. Allen pioneered many courses and programs with particular interests in molecular plant microbe interactions and tropical plant pathology. Her teaching has been recognized both locally and nationally. In 2008, she was awarded the Palme Académique for her significant contributions to French education and culture. Her international work includes projects in Guatemala, South Africa, and the Caribbean. Beyond her editorial service for MPMI and APS Press, she has also served on numerous APS committees, including bacteriology, agricultural bioterrorism, visioning, and the future of plant pathology. Overall, Caitlin Allen has amassed an outstanding record of accomplishment in the areas of research, teaching, international work, and the service to plant pathology.
And for her outstanding accomplishments, in particular in original research, teaching, and service to plant pathology, the American Phytopathological Society presents to Amy Charkowski, accepting on behalf of Caitlin Allen, the APS Fellow Award. Next, Fellow Ann Alvarez.
Ann M. Alvarez has made long-lasting contributions to the detection and management of bacterial diseases, especially for tropical plants. Her work ranges from bacterial ecology to phylogeny and molecular genetics. Alvarez provided leadership in developing new approaches for rapid and accurate detection of bacterial pathogens and helped pioneer immunodiagnostic tests using monoclonal antibodies. Strain-specific antibodies were used to trace distinct bacterial populations in field studies and to distinguish the impacts of soil-borne versus seed-borne inoculum. With students and colleagues, she used genomic methods to determine origins and distribution of the pineapple heart rot pathogen and helped pioneer the development of loop-mediated isothermal amplification, abbreviated as LAMP, for sensitive DNA-based detection of bacterial pathogens. Alvarez has been highly active throughout her career in service to APS, including the Offices of International Programs and Electronic Communications, Plant Health Progress, APS Press, and most recently on the APS Foundation Board. Her achievements demonstrate how research innovation and knowledge can directly benefit agriculture and education.
For her innovations in research, the American Phytopathological Society is honored to present Ann Alvarez with the APS Fellow Award. Just getting the perfect one. Jim Carell.
Jim Carell has made many important contributions in plant pathology, including his pioneering genetics work on vegetative compatibility with fungal pathogens. He also has conducted seminal research on the molecular diversity of fungal populations. Carell is considered a leading authority on spinach diseases worldwide. He has elucidated the genetics of resistance to the spinach downy mildew pathogen and was the first to develop molecular markers linked to major genes for resistance. In addition, Carell has been actively involved in research on the population diversity of the rice blast pathogen and the identification of resistance in rice. Carell also has been an active volunteer for numerous philanthropic international work assignments with Windrock International and other NGOs. He's made a significant impact on the disease management of various crops and also on the incomes and the quality of life of people in many developing nations. Carell has served APS in multiple capacities in his career, including serving twice as senior editor and as an associate editor of plant disease and phytopathology.
For his contributions to the research of plant pathology and also his exceptional professional and public service, the American Phytopathological Society is honored to present Jim Carell with the APS Fellow Award. Next, R. Michael Davis.
R. Michael Davis's research program has focused on the study of diseases of citrus, vegetables, and field crops and the development of disease management strategies. He has made seminal contributions to our understanding of the biology, epidemiology, and management of diseases of field and vegetable crops. In addition, he has conducted research on edible mushroom production and has become a leading authority on mushroom identification in California. Davis is an accomplished and dedicated teacher with graduate courses on diagnostics and management of diseases of vegetables and field crops and an advanced plant pathology laboratory, as well as undergraduate courses on world food production and mushroom identification. Davis has been active in service to APS as the primary editor and a contributor of 2 compendia and the primary editor and a contributor to Tomato Health Management. He recently served as editor-in-chief of Plant Disease from 2010 to 2012, and prior to that served terms as Disease Notes Signing Editor, Associate Editor, and Senior Editor of Plant Disease.
In recognition of his contributions to plant pathology research, teaching, professional and public service, and extension, the American Phytopathological Society is honored to present R. Michael Davis with the APS Fellow Award. Jose Diance.
Jose C. Dianese's career has spanned research, teaching, service, and administration. He has published more than 100 research papers in international journals and made significant contributions to plant pathology, including early studies on pineapple diseases, eucalyptus rust and wilt, bean anthracnose, and bacterial diseases. Dianese also is recognized for his service to administration, particularly as director of the Institute of Biological Sciences from 1972 to 1978, when he envisioned, created, and secured external funding for 2 departments he founded, ecology and plant pathology. Up to June 2012, 280 master's and doctoral students from all over Brazil and several African and Latin American countries graduated in plant pathology at the University of Brasilia, 33 of them supervised by Dianese. Among them are 16 university professors. He also has served as a member, administrative director, and vice president or president of professional societies, committees, and editorial boards.
For his original research, teaching, and administrative contributions, the American Phytopathological Society is honored to present Jose Dianese with the APS Fellow Award. We have an apparel conflict. Frederick E. Gildow.
Frederick E. Gildau's groundbreaking studies on the circulative transmission of luteoviruses defined how luteoviruses move through their aphid vectors. Transmission interference studies provided some of the first evidence that virus receptor recognition regulated luteovirus transmission by aphids. Ultrastructural studies indicated that virus cell interactions, giving vector specificity, take place at the accessory salivary gland and the aphid gut. Gildau was one of the first to document that luteoviruses affected aphid feeding efficiency and induced wing development in vectors under field conditions, thus influencing virus survival. More recently, Gildau was a part of the interagency team that eradicated plumpox virus, an invasive species threatening the stone fruit industry of Pennsylvania. Gildau has taught microplant interactions since 1987 and has received department and college awards for teaching excellence. Former students are now researchers, teachers, and policymakers at universities throughout the United States and with the USDA, ARS, and the Spanish National Research Council.
For his original research and teaching excellence and probably his sense of humor, the American Phytopathological Society is honored to present Frederick Gildau with the APS Fellow Award.
Thank you very much, Carol.
Mark L. Gleason.
Mark L. Gleason received his doctorate in plant pathology from the University of Kentucky and has been a professor and extension plant pathologist at Iowa State University since 1985. He is an international leader in many areas of disease epidemiology and management, including the sooty blotch and fly speck disease complex of apple, the integration of weather-based disease forecasting into disease warning systems, and the development and dissemination of sustainable approaches to plant disease control. Gleason has garnered multiple awards for his extension accomplishments, which include first authorship of the highly regarded book Diseases of Herbaceous Perennials, and leadership on a multidisciplinary collaboration to improve the success of Amish and Mennonite farmers with new crops. He has been a prolific course innovator and active promoter of student and scientific exchanges between the United States and Costa Rica. He has an extensive record of service with APS, including serving as a member of the APS Foundation Board and as a feature editor and senior editor for Plant Disease for 14 years.
For his original research and distinctions in teaching, extension, and service, the American Phytopathological Society is honored to present Mark L. Gleason with the APS Fellow Award. Mark? Thank you. Oh, this next one is fun. Douglas Jardine.
Douglas Jardine has developed a nationally recognized extension program with an emphasis on row crops. Kansas producers appreciate his ability to take technical information and, as one wrote, explain it in a way that I can understand it. Following the introduction of soybean rust to the United States, he chaired the steering committee that developed the Plant Management Network's Soybean Rust Resource Center website, which provided a one-stop location for information on soybean rust. He has made more than 1,000 extension presentations and has published more than 160 refereed publications, technical reports, and extension bulletins. Jardine's research has centered on seedling pathogens and the evaluation and use of seed treatments on row crops. Based on the results of his research, the sorghum industry began to routinely use metalaxyl on all commercial seeds beginning in the early 1990s. Jardine's most significant contributions to plant pathology may have come to his service to APS. He has served on APS Council on 4 different occasions, including as North Central Division Counselor, Secretary, Director of the Office of Public Relations and Outreach, and until reorganization of APS Council, was Editor-in-Chief of Phytopathology News.
In recognition of his contributions in profession and public service, the American Phytopathological Society is honored to present Douglas Jardine with the APS Fellow Award. Robert R. Martin.
Robert R. Martin earned his B.S. degree in forestry and his Ph.D. degree in plant pathology from the University of Wisconsin in Madison. Following postdoctoral research at the USDA ARS Horticultural Crops Research Unit in Corvallis, Oregon, Martin was hired as a plant pathologist with Agriculture Canada, where he worked for 13 years. In 1995, Martin returned to the Horticultural Crops Research Unit, where he took the position of his retired mentor, Dick Converse. Martin holds courtesy appointments as professor in the Botany and Plant Pathology Department and the Molecular and Cellular Biology program at Oregon State University. He is recognized as a world authority on the characterization, epidemiology, and management of berry viruses. He has developed numerous innovative methods that have helped characterize recalcitrant viruses of berries and other crops. His efforts have elucidated the etiology of complex diseases and has helped save growers millions of dollars. Martin's research achievements are documented in more than 170 peer-reviewed manuscripts, 35 book chapters, and numerous other publications. He has trained numerous students, postdoctoral researchers, and visiting scientists, and has a strong record of professional service, including serving as a senior editor for APS Press and the Journal of Plant Pathology.
In recognition of his outstanding achievements in original research, the American Phytopathological Society is honored to present Robert R. Martin with the APS Fellow Award. It had to happen.
There had to be
Yeah, just one. Mark Mazzola.
Mark Mazzola earned his bachelor's and master's degree in forestry and forest pathology from the University of Vermont and his doctorate in plant pathology from Washington State University. In 2000, he was hired as a USDA ARS research plant pathologist and adjunct faculty at WSU. Mazzola's research program has focused on the function of microbial ecology in both the cause and control of soil-borne diseases of tree fruits. He is a world authority on tree fruit replant diseases and the development of non-fumigant, ecologically sustainable measures for their control. He is recognized for his contributions in resolving the etiology of apple replant disease and for pioneering multiple means for control of this disease that reduces dependence on soil fumigants. Mazzola and Associates conducted the studies that documented for the first time the existence of a sensing signaling mechanism in bacteria-protozoa interactions that results in activation of an anti-predator response in prey populations. Mazzola's research achievements have been documented in 71 authored or co-authored peer-reviewed research articles and 12 book chapters, including 3 contributions to the annual review of phytopathology.
For his contributions in original research and professional and public service, the American Phytopathological Society is honored to present Mark Mazzola with the APS Fellow Award.
I didn't do the other one.
Okay. Allison H. Tully.
Allison Talley is renowned for her leadership roles in APS and is recognized as a dedicated APS volunteer, having focused her career on both professional and public service. Her contributions include APS Counselor at Large, Senior Editor of APS Press, and member of the APS Placement Committee, Youth Program Committee, Office of Public Affairs and Education, Advisory Council of Plant Health Management, APS Foundation Board, Ad Hoc Committee of the Profession of Plant Pathology, and the APS Centennial Planning Committee. Talley also served as president of the APS Southern Division in 1991 and as president of the Plant Pathology Society of North Carolina in 2002. Additionally, she was the recipient of the APS Excellence in Industry Award in 2002. As an applied plant pathologist within industry, Talley has been a strong advocate for best management practices, providing recommendations on product stewardship, resistance management, and product development. Her contributions to this industry have benefited countless people and organizations.
For her leadership and dedication in professional and public service of plant pathology, the American Phytopathological Society is honored to present Allison H. Talley with the APS Fellow Award. Let's extend a sincere congratulations to all of those incredible 2013 APS Fellows. Congratulations, all of you. The final award I have the honor of presenting is the only APS award that's actually presented upon the recommendation of APS Council. The APS Distinguished Service Award honors an APS member who has provided sustained, outstanding leadership to the society while also furthering the science of plant pathology. It's no surprise that the 2013 Distinguished Service Award is to Stephen C. Nelson.
Stephen C. Nelson was born in Worthington, Minnesota, and grew up in St. Paul. He began to work for the American Phytopathological Society part-time in 1968 while an undergraduate at Hamline University in St. Paul. He began full-time employment with APS in 1973 while continuing his studies in business administration. He was promoted to publications manager 2 years later, where he helped develop the Compendium book series and establish APS Press. He was part of the team that created the journals Plant Disease and Molecular Plant Microbe Interactions, and also established the Plant Management Network. As headquarters continued to grow, Nelson held several key positions, including marketing manager, director of meetings, and general manager. Nelson became executive vice president of APS in 1991, serving in that position until retirement in 2013. He challenged the APS leaders to think strategically and constantly adapt to new thinking and organizational structures. Steve Nelson worked closely with many members, students, committee chairs, authors, and officers to advance APS. He promoted a strong partnership and trust between volunteers and staff and fostered creative thinking with a get-it-done attitude that helped build member value and financial health for APS. A member of the Council of Engineering and Scientific Society Executives, Nelson served in many positions, including president in 2006 to 2007. He is also a certified meeting professional and helped establish this program in the meeting industry.
For his sustained dedication to the American Phytopathological Society, his exceptional leadership and effective mentoring, and the insight, vision, creativity, energy, and the integrity he provided to advance our society throughout his career, the American Phytopathological Society is honored to present Stephen C. Nelson with the APS Distinguished Service Award.
Thank you.
This concludes the APS Award and Honor Ceremony. And please join us in honoring all of our awardees today. We purposely changed the honors and awards to the beginning of the meeting so that you would all have the opportunity to congratulate our awardees throughout the meeting on their many accomplishments. Thank you, everyone.